The mansion echoed with a scream. It wasn't the sound of fear. It was rage. Plates shattered against the marble walls as security guards froze in place, their eyes darting toward the girl at the center of it all. Clarissa Van Dorn, the only daughter of one of the world's richest men. She stood there, trembling with fury, mascara streaking down her flawless face, and shouted, "Get out! All of you!" No one dared to breathe. She'd gone through 5 maids in 2 weeks, 3 tutors in a month, and even her private nurse had quit in tears. Rumor in the estate was simple. No one could handle her. But that was before he arrived. Before I tell you what happened next, tell me in the comments where you're re-watching from. I love knowing who is listening. His name was Marcus Reed. A quiet man in his 40s with deep brown skin, kind eyes, and calloused hands that told stories of work, not words. He'd been hired as a janitor, the lowest rank in a house full of pride and power. No one expected him to last. Some even whispered that the billionaire had only hired him because no one else would take the job. Marcus didn't care about the whispers. He needed the work, and something about the girl's loneliness behind that anger stirred something in him he couldn't quite explain. Clarissa didn't even look at him the first time they met. She walked past him, her perfume lingering like a challenge. "Don't touch my things," she said coldly. "You're here to clean, not to speak." He just nodded. "Yes, ma'am." Days passed. Marcus noticed patterns others missed. How Clarissa's laughter echoed from her phone late at night but stopped abruptly. How she ripped photos from her wall only to tape them back the next day. Beneath the arrogance was something fragile, something breaking. One morning, Marcus entered the music room to find her seated at the grand piano, hands trembling above the keys. She was trying to play, but the melody broke midway, like a sentence unfinished. He recognized the tune. It was Clair de Lune. Without meaning to, he said softly, "My mama used to play that." Her head snapped around. For a moment her eyes softened, then hardened again. "You can go." But the next morning, she was there again, and so was he. He didn't speak this time. He just cleaned quietly while she played, her music halting, stumbling, restarting. For weeks, that became their silent ritual. The janitor sweeping floors while the billionaire's daughter battled her piano. Until one night, everything changed. A storm hit. Power lines fell, alarms blared, and the mansion descended into darkness. Clarissa's cries echoed from the upstairs hallway. Marcus ran toward the sound, not out of duty, but instinct. He found her trapped in her father's office, the heavy door jammed shut, smoke creeping in from a sparking outlet. He forced it open, coughing from the smoke. "Come on, Miss Clarissa," he shouted. She was frozen, clutching a photo to her chest, a woman's face smiling up at her, her mother. Marcus didn't hesitate. He lifted her into his arms and carried her through the smoke, down the grand staircase, and out into the rain. The world outside was chaos, alarms, lights, people running. But in that moment, all Clarissa could see was the man who'd just saved her life. Later, wrapped in a blanket, she whispered, "Why did you come back for me?" Marcus smiled faintly. "Because no one deserves to be left behind." She looked down. For the first time, she saw not a janitor, but a man who saw her when no one else did. The next morning, the house buzzed with whispers. Reporters gathered, the billionaire returned from his trip, and Clarissa stood beside Marcus as her father demanded to know who this employee was who had risked everything. "He's not just an employee," Clarissa said firmly. "He's the only one who didn't treat me like I was broken." The billionaire blinked, taken aback. His daughter, the untamable Storm, was now defending a janitor. Marcus bowed slightly. "Sir, I was just doing what anyone decent would do." But not everyone would have. Days later, as the mansion repaired its walls, Clarissa began repairing something else. Her heart. She asked Marcus to teach her how to play the piano the way his mother did. Slowly, the two filled the halls not with shouting, but with music. Whispers changed tone. Servants who once mocked Marcus now greeted him with respect. Even the billionaire began to notice how his daughter's laughter returned, lighter, genuine, like the sound of rain after drought. One afternoon, Marcus was called into the study. The billionaire stood by the window, silent for a long time before saying, "You've done more for her than all the doctors and tutors combined. I'd like to offer you a permanent position." Marcus smiled, humble as ever. "I don't need a title, sir. Just the chance to keep doing right by her." And he did. Years later, Clarissa stood on a concert stage performing her first solo piece, Claire de Lune. In the front row sat Marcus, still in his work clothes, clapping quietly as tears filled his eyes. When the applause thundered through the hall, Clarissa bowed, but her gaze stayed locked on him, because she knew. It wasn't the wealth, the fame, or the privilege that changed her. It was one man's quiet kindness, because kindness doesn't vanish. It waits, and it finds its way back. The same way the melody of Xiur, Claire de Lune, now echoed through the same mansion that once knew only silence. If this story moved you, leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to Whispered Words, where every story reminds us that compassion, no matter where it comes from, can change the world. CTR line. Because even in the richest mansions, the rarest treasure is a kind heart.